Welcome to episode number 37 of Arcadian Insight. So today it's going to be a little bit of a different format than what we've been doing for the past couple of months. There's going to be no trending news today. Instead, the trending news is going to be all of the major announcements from BlizzCon 2019, as this is going to be the BlizzCon 2019 special show. We were all there, the three of us, myself, Adam, and Dave. Josh was unfortunately not able to attend, but and instead of talking about the entire trip and just what we thought of it up front, we're actually going to talk about the game releases first. So if you want to hear our thoughts on the atmosphere at BlizzCon for Diablo IV, Overwatch 2, and World of Warcraft Shadowlands, that will be at the beginning of this show. If you want to hear about our time at BlizzCon outside of those announcements and just how the atmosphere was, maybe like how the riots were, just what we did, what we liked the best, what we didn't like, stuff like that. That will be in the back half of the show. So yeah, a little bit different. A lot of change today. We're really getting risky with some of our content. I'd like to start with Diablo IV. I think primarily because a lot of people have been waiting for a Diablo IV announcement, especially after the Diablo Immortals mobile announcement that everybody was very, very bummed out about. And also BlizzCon led off with the Diablo 4 trailer, so I just think it's fitting that we start the show that way as well. But personally, I mean, I don't play a ton of Diablo. I have Diablo 3 downloaded. I never really got into it a ton. Dave, I know that you love it. I know that Josh loves it as well, but I thought the trailer was pretty cool.
Yeah,
for how much we saw of it.
Yeah. Well, like even if you like don't know anything about Diablo, I think the trailer is like pretty relatable. Like, you know what I mean? Like anybody could like kind of follow along and see that like these guys are running through a cave and like they're summoning it. They're trying to find gold, but they end up summoning a demon. Like, right? That's pretty much what happens. Spoiler alert. I don't know if we have to like tell people that.
That's not much of a spoiler. I mean, what do you
I think it's okay.
There?
I mean, if you're listening to the BlizzCon 2019 special, I'm sure you're.
Yeah, right. Sure. But yeah, it was really funny. Like at BlizzCon, like live, like they're showing the trailer on the big screens, like at the Mythic stage, and like right in the middle of it, it just fucking cut out, and you could hear the audio, but it like cut to like a blue screen kind of.
Yeah, it was honestly hilarious.
Yeah.
So everybody in the audience was so pumped up because it looks so fucking cool, and then everything just went like you couldn't see anything, you just heard audio, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and it went on for like a full minute. It wasn't like 3 seconds and then it clicked back in. It was like a full minute to a minute and a half of blue screen, and it wasn't even just blue screen. It was like that awesome format where, like, if you're messing with like your webcam or computer settings or whatever in your computer, it like starts like going through all of those windows, and it looks like you're like looking through a tunnel, like through all of the screens at once. It was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually maybe cooler than the trailer.
It was definitely funny, and everybody, like the whole crowd, is just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like it would happen like right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it was probably like 5 minutes into the show, right?
it was right. Yeah, right off the hop. But I think that even if you're like not a big Diablo fan, like that was still a pretty fucking badass trailer to watch for a video game. And I liked how it was definitely like dark and like bloody and gory, and like that kind of like like get back to like the roots of Diablo, like demons, blood, death, and all that shit. And I think they did a pretty good job of like portraying that in the trailer.
It was really dark.
Yeah,
like they came out beforehand and they were like, yeah, like this is gonna be dark, and it was like spooky, man. It was like way too much. I felt like I was watching like an R-rated movie, which I guess is a good thing. I mean, I didn't mind it, but I just didn't expect it.
I'm glad you said that. I honestly, it did feel, I really enjoyed it. For someone that hasn't played a lot of Diablo, I played 3, I dabbled in 2 for a minute, and man, it was almost like too much. It was like really, really graphic, and I don't know who voice acted the not was it Lilith, but the demon looking guy that's like standing
Like
in the middle of the room with like the bald
like the summoner.
guy. Yeah, the summoner.
Like,
yeah, well, sure, the summoner.
Kind of looked like Alarak a little bit.
He did a little bit, yeah.
like Darth Vader with his helmet off.
Yeah.
Something like that. He man, it was creepy as shit. I mean, that was was just a really well done trailer. That's probably one of the best game trailers I think I've ever seen. It was almost too much for me though, like on the graphic, gory, intense side. I mean, there's some really fucked up stuff that's going on in that. For like the last 3 minutes of it, I rewatched it again today. It's just
whenever they're like using their bodies to summon the demon, like it's definitely like a little bit. I mean, it's not like you're watching fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something, but it's definitely a little like if you're like a kid or something, it would definitely be a little like.
Well, they really build an atmosphere there that's like really ominous, and you're really not quite sure what's gonna happen. I feel like that halfway point, you know something bad's happening, and you figure something is gonna come out of somewhere, but how, like, I guess Lilith shows up and like coming out of like that like coat of, or the
It's like blood.
Yeah, it's really gross. Yeah, and then she wears it like as a cape afterwards.
Yeah. But like, I mean, I don't know. Like that was pretty sweet, and there's a lot of people that play Diablo like the dark, fucked up theme, and they definitely were true to that. You can't, you know what I mean? There's no doubt that they like went for that.
Well, I guess it is in hell, right?
Right.
It's fitting, yeah.
I mean, it should be a little bit dark.
I don't know. I thought, I mean, it's definitely a little graphic.
Were there any ties in that trailer, Dave, back to any of the prior games?
I don't think so, because it was just like those three dudes were like not main characters or anything. It just seemed like there was guys going to look for treasure. They wanted gold or whatever, and then they ended up doing something bad.
And did you play the demo, Dave?
Yeah, the demo, I mean, you could tell that it was like more of a, it's a very early iteration of the game, but like the fucking demo was sick. Like it was really fun. Like how the gameplay, I mean, it's still like your standard Diablo hack and slash gameplay, but like it was just the animations and stuff and how it worked. It was really cool and really fun. And just like how the monsters interact and stuff, it just, it's like modern, it's updated, it's fresh, it's clean. And I don't know, we had a lot of fun playing it. I did the sorceress, and she was fucking pretty cool. They have some pretty badass abilities.
The druid looked really cool to me.
Yeah, the druid was very cool too.
I had heard rumors that they were going to make Diablo IV a Dark Souls-esque game, and the gameplay was going to be like that as well. I'm glad that they stuck to the normal model of Diablo and didn't try to make like this Dark Souls clone like everyone else is trying to do. I'm getting a little sick of them. No, I couldn't, and I'm really glad they didn't, because they would have gotten a lot of heat for it, and it just wouldn't have made sense.
Into something like that would have been a disaster, an absolute disaster.
Yeah, it would have been ugly.
But I mean, like the demo line for it was like pretty fucking long, and like me personally, I enjoyed it, and like all the other people that I played with when we did the demo, it seemed like everybody was really hyped about it, and it was fun. For a very like early iteration of the game, it was still pretty goddamn cool. And I think if it continues in that direction, which I don't see why it wouldn't, it's going to be a good game, and people are definitely going to play it.
Yeah, let's talk about my actual favorite part, which was the Overwatch 2 trailer. And I was very surprised that it was my favorite part, because I haven't played Overwatch since we came up against that team of 6 Torbjorns. Like, what, 2.5 years ago, and never logged back in ever again to this day. That was our last game of Overwatch. It was miserable. You couldn't even get close to the point. There were turrets everywhere. But anyway, I love the trailer. I've watched it, honest to God, 15 or so times since we've been home. I really, really think it's very well made. Genji is so badass in it, and I love Genji just from playing HOTS. But he's awesome in it. Reinhardt's really cool. I thought the music was great. Everything. I thought it was unique, original. I loved it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. What did you say?
No, you're good. I'll shut up.
Shut up, Dave. I really wasn't that crazy about it, just because I honestly, visually, sound wise, everything about that. Obviously, it's gonna be up to snuff. It's Blizzard. They do a good job with that kind of thing. But as far as like a storyline and what was actually happening, like, I was really confused for like the first several minutes of it because I didn't realize there was much of any backstory at all to Overwatch. I didn't really understand like the dynamic between all these people and what they were trying to do and like who's friends with who, and they're like calling each other in, and they're this team banding to save the world. Um, and I guess that kind of just stems from, I think I was almost predisposed to not liking it because I don't like the implications, I think, of what this means, like in Overwatch 2 for the original Overwatch game, and how that might affect it as like a, an esport and things like that. I don't know if you want to dive into that right now, if Dave, you had something to say, like your first impressions on it at least, but I do want to touch back on the.
Yeah, for not being like a big Overwatch person, and I mean I understood the backstory like a little bit, but not like a ton. But the or trailer, whatever you want to fucking call it, it was pretty cool. Like I don't know, like you get sucked in, like you know what I mean. Like you're like oh like I don't know, you feel like a connection to the characters, I guess.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh,
Oh
I like these guys. You're like rooting for them.
I was like almost
like,
crying halfway through.
Yeah, and you like want
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I don't even
You
know
like want them to like get together and like be together again and like beat the shit out of like the robots. I
Yeah,
don't know. It was pretty cool. I thought it was very well done.
the story felt a little bit forced to me too, and it seems like with this sequel, they're really focusing on story more with the new like single player or co-op missions that you can play through the story instead of just having that competitive multiplayer format.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, it's cool that they added it. Like I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just another feature, but it did feel a little bit forced to me. Like they're definitely trying to build these characters up, um, and give them backstories so that you do care about them versus just playing them in a role in a game.
I mean, it was definitely forced, but like any like good longevity, like game that has longevity, you need to have like strong characters with good lore and backgrounds that people like get attached to. Like even like when League of Legends came out, there wasn't like a lot of lore to League of Legends, but now like as it's gotten more and more popular over the years, like they're definitely filling in the story, like the
Mm-hmm.
backstories for the characters and trying to flesh out things a little more to like keep you like engaged. And like I mean you can't really blame them for that. I think that's kind of par for the course.
See, I like that. I like your points there with like the story, and I think that is really important. And personally, I really like co-op, versus AI kind of like campaign kind of games. I think I enjoy that more than like a shooter, a PvP shooter like Overwatch normally is. But I'm like getting really hung up on like the announcement they're like doing this interconnected multiplayer where the new characters are going to be playable in the original Overwatch, and then like skins are going to carry over to the new one, kind of thing. Like there's going to be this weird merger. Like I just don't see like what game do you play moving forward? Do you play the first one? Like all the new maps will be coming out for both of them. As like a competitive esport, like what's that look like? And I almost feel like these should have been split up, where Overwatch 2 should have been like Overwatch like Best Buddies edition, and you just do like a single player or multiplayer co-op campaign kind of thing, and kind of keep them separate that way.
So I guess I love it for the fact that they don't want people who bought number one to get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, and very commendable, because a lot of games just roll out a sequel, you lose everything that you earned, that money that you spent and the time you put in is down the drain, and that feels really bad, and people don't like that, me included. So I understand like why they're trying to do this, and I like it. But yeah, Adam, to your point, it feels a little weird. Like, why do I want to pay full price for a game that feels a lot like the original when you're going to be merging the clients together eventually anyway? And what does that look like? Do I need to buy two to be on the competitive scene? I don't know. Is one just going to be like a base model where I can play for fun but not have all the features? Is it like an Overwatch Lite?
Yeah,
that's kind of what it feels like to me. But it's definitely a weird sell.
Based on how they were explaining it to me, it seems like like online PvP is pretty much going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you're paying more for like the single player content and like the stories and shit is what that seems like to me what it is.
Hmm.
Like Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, like PvP wise is pretty much gonna be the same thing. But like if you want, the story and the PvE shit, you need to pay for 2. That's just that's how it kind of came across to me.
Yeah, which makes sense. I get it. It makes sense, and maybe it'll work. It just feels like almost an unnecessary step, and it might get a little like bogged down, confusing. You could have just had them 2 separate things, and if you're going to introduce new characters in this second game, then it's kind of exciting for the people that own the first game. Like, oh, like they got introduced. Like, well, all right, now they're coming to the competitive scene. Like, all right, now that'll be interesting. I don't know. Now it's like this mashed up nonsense. I don't. I'm sure it'll work fine, and who people with 1 will probably be happy, and people with 2 will probably be pretty happy. But I don't know. Still feels unnecessary.
I feel the same way. I think it'll sell really well though, just because I think people love Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Like people that play Overwatch really enjoy Overwatch. And like I said, I really don't like Overwatch that much. I've always thought it was like a little bit cheesy and the characters were a little corny. It's definitely more towards like, it's not like for kids. It's not Fortnite, but it's more like kid friendly than Diablo IV.
Yeah.
But it even got me like kind of thinking like, man, maybe I'll get Overwatch 2 and play it for a little while, which surprises me because I normally don't feel that way about games, especially like when I haven't played them prior.
Yeah. That I mean, that is definitely in the lore. Like I said, I like that like campaign, story driven kind of game mode you can play with your friends, which sounds like exactly what that is. It almost seems like it was going to be like a Destiny 2, kind of thing where you're like teaming up against these big baddies kind of scenario, which would be a lot of fun, with enjoyable characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how like once it launches and how like everything like integrates together. I guess we'll see how it actually turns out. But if they really stay true to like letting you keep your skins and like moving shit forward, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of that because even just like games like Call of Duty and shit, like you have all these stats and all these ranks and everything and all these camos, and the new one comes out a year later and everything on that game is now fucking a piece of shit. Nobody cares about it. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You have no like roll forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and like to me, like that's important. That's why I played WoW so long, is because like your character is always there. Like you still have all your old achievements and everything. You still have all your old stuff, and it's like you're always like growing your character. It's not like just starting over and like abandoning the old game. I like to like build on myself as time goes on instead of just like starting over every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a personal preference.
Well, let's talk about WoW. And Dave, you'll probably have to carry this conversation a little bit, but let's start with a cinematic, just because I think it makes the most sense to start there. But I think whenever we actually get to like the Shadowlands expansion, Dave, I'm not going to have a ton to say just because I barely even understand what's happening. But like, I don't know. I think the World of Warcraft cinematic was the one that I least enjoyed. It was still cool. I mean, all 3 were very good. For how long it was, I don't know how long. It's probably like 6 or 7 minutes, I would say, the cinematic. I felt like not much happened. It's a lot of Sylvanas, like just walking around. 5.5, yeah. The fight ensues between her and the Lich King, and it probably takes 3.5 to 4 minutes. And I don't know. I just didn't really see a ton. I don't know how you guys felt, but that was kind of my takeaway.
I felt like, similar, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like as a WoW player, like you're always hyped to see Bolvar as the Lich King again, like in action. And I mean, I still loved it just because I'm a WoW fanboy. I can't not love it. It's just how I am. But it was like the big complaints I think were that like Sylvanas just like became so fucking powerful and she literally just shit on the Lich King like it was fucking nothing and ripped his fucking helmet off and ripped it in half.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like, do you know what I mean? Like she didn't even get like fucking scratched. Like it wasn't even a struggle. She just fucking shit on him. Like very easily.
Yeah, but is she really that strong?
Well, that's why people are like, I think really like irritated by the whole thing is because like she's gotten stronger and stronger and stronger, and like we now know why a little bit, because they like tease like the jailer is like taking all the souls into the maw, and they're not being distributed across the Shadowlands like they should be. So like, and she's has an allegiance with the jailer. So as he gets
Oh,
stronger,
so
she gets
she's take
stronger.
Mm.
So that now we're starting to understand like why she's getting stronger and how she's getting stronger, but we still don't know like, you know, like when exactly did she make the pact with the jailer? When exactly, what, you know what I mean? When, like, how strong is that power spike and all that? You know what I mean? People don't. We're still like they like we know too much about like how she got there, but not how. We know like she's there now, but we don't know how she got there. Like exactly how she got there, like what exact steps were taken. We just know like, you know what I mean? We know like little details, but not like a fully fleshed out, which I mean obviously we're gonna learn during the course of expansion, during the course of the Shadowlands expansion, but I think people were just like irritated that we don't know enough about how she got there. Like it's not
Yeah.
all fleshed out yet.
Someone that
And
doesn't.
like, yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Doesn't
no,
follow
good.
as closely. I mean, you see her like in BFA in the trailer, and she just, she's like on pretty much even playing field with like, was it like her facing off sort of like against like Anduin's moves at the time,
Yeah,
and then like you see her in the next like follow up. Like you said, like there's this power creep that's going on, and then I see her, and she's still like seemingly like the focus. Everything I've heard about it's like Sylvanas, Sylvanas, Sylvanas. She's like such a focal point and driving point of the story that do you feel like it's almost like overdone that she's been such a main player in the story for so long, but we've seen so many other people kind of just like come and go and cycle out. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, and like, I mean, part of the problem is too, like with now, like with all like the data mining and leaks and shit, like everybody knows like kind of the story before it happens. So like everybody has like this 2020 hindsight. Like we're still in the current expansion, but like we already know like a lot of the story and like what's gonna happen because of data mining and leaking. So everybody's like, oh, this is fucking stupid. I already know it's gonna happen. But like it's, you know what I mean? Like you don't get the story naturally anymore. Like everything leaks and data mines and like it kind of ruins it, if you will.
Yeah, there's almost too much hype around games in general. Even with the Overwatch 2 leak, it was just like, okay, well, we already know it's here, so whatever. I mean, like I said, I still thoroughly enjoyed the cinematic. I thought it was fantastic. But the actual like release of the game and talking about the game, I don't know that people really cared that much because they already knew it was a thing. The cinematic was probably the only actual like new thing that people got.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When you say that, it almost feels like everyone's a little bit jaded. Like it's happened so many times where a game's released and you hear all these great features about it. It's gonna have this, it's gonna have that. We're gonna do this with it, that with it, and everyone's kind of getting to that expectation point here. Like, all right, well, we'll wait and see like what it's really all about before we start like really getting freaked out. I don't know. Maybe that's how I feel.
I've seen a lot of people even saying lately that they won't buy a game as soon as they find out that it has loot boxes in it. And I mean, we talk about loot boxes a lot, and like I don't like the business model either, but like to base your purchases on that fact, especially if it's going to be a game that like doesn't abuse the system and is actually like a really well made game that you're going to enjoy. I mean, why would you not buy that like 6 months, or why would you make the decision to not buy that 6 months before the game comes out because you heard there might be some loot boxes? I don't know. I'm like semi in agreement with it because I get it, but at the same time, why hold yourself back and like put those bars on you? Just buy what you want to play and forget about it.
That's a different message than what we've been preaching for a long time. Slightly, like told.
Well, before we get too far away from WoW,
I'm not saying to buy the loot boxes. I'm saying if you like the game, play it and don't buy the loot boxes.
Okay, yeah, get us back on WoW.
before we get too far away, but like as far as like the expansion features, it seems like, well, it doesn't seem like it what they're trying to do is like give the players more customization and stuff, like, so whether it be character appearance, you know, like all the different like humans, you can make yourself whatever like actual race now, you know, you can be black, you can be Asian, you can be white, you can be purple, you can be whatever. And like different like you know what I mean? If you want to be a dwarf, you don't have to be the cookie cutter dwarf. You can be like a fucking wild hammer dwarf, or you know what I mean? You can customize your character to a more specific, you know what I mean? You're not just a troll now. You can be
Mhm.
you can like, oh, I look more like a troll from this tribe or whatever, which I think that's pretty cool. And it seems like the covenant thing giving you a choice to like which one you want to be with, and you get special, abilities based on which one you choose. I mean, the idea is cool in theory, but with the way fucking games are now, everybody fucking min maxes everything, and like certain classes are probably gonna get pigeonholed into one, like into
Faction
picking one
choice, yeah.
covenant. Yeah, like if you want to be a fucking DPS rogue, whatever, like an outlaw rogue or a subtlety rogue or whatever, you're gonna have to go this covenant and pick these traits to be the best one. And if you don't pick that, then like everybody in pug groups is like, fuck you, you're an idiot, you're not running the
Mhm.
fucking optimal build. That's the only thing I don't like. But their counter argument to that was there's going to be so many little different things within the covenants, like not just the main abilities, like other customizations and stuff, that there's going to be so many little things. It's going to be really hard to try to pinpoint exactly which one's going to be better, or like, you know what I mean? Or one might be better in certain scenarios, but I mean, we'll see how it plays out. You know how that kind of stuff
Yeah.
goes. And like, if you like ever want to fucking join a dungeon or a raid, you know what I mean? They're like, I need to see you know what I mean? They want to check your Raider IO score and your gear and your spec and everything. And if like you're not running like the optimal build, a lot of groups will like literally just not invite you because
Mhm.
everybody wants to do everything as efficiently and time, blah blah blah, as possible. It's like that's my only like fear, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it past people to, crunch the numbers and look, for like every specific encounter to say like, all right, this faction's ability, or this covenant's ability is better than this covenant's ability, that kind of thing. It was kind of like I like the idea of it, like the customization. They even showed that there's even like finer points of customization where like the armor sets, you can kind of like switch those up between the covenants, like make them look how you want to make them look. Some of the what you turn in like a spirit animal, the one you can pick what animal, things like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
right.
cool, like lore based, like building lore based kind of stuff. Like not everyone's gonna look the same, picking the same covenants and stuff like that. But it was kind of like a throwback to the Burning Crusade, where you picked like Aldor Scryer kind of thing, and
Yeah, right.
that was like a
Yeah.
cool. I don't think it was as impactful back then because the benefits of it were really, aside from like an item enchant, I think it was like the it was like the items and stuff like that. Like you knew they were gonna get phased out eventually. It wasn't a whole like ability set that that
Right.
you were gonna be taken out into the world.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. I think there's always a mixed review because like you know how the internet is. If people like something, it doesn't really get talked about that much. But if they fucking don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
it's way, you know what I mean. People like to talk about bad things rather than good things.
Hmm.
It's like you go on
Well,
the
there were
fucking
there
Reddit
were
forums and
heavy dislikes on the WoW cinematic,
and
like
people just like,
heavy.
yeah, like I don't know. It's some people just can't be pleased.
Did so I don't know. Like, I guess like my Sylvanas point from before, like she's been such a focal point of the story. Did you get the feeling, just as somebody from the outside, that like what'd you say, she was gonna free us all or something? Was like
Yeah,
her
yeah.
line in it. Did it almost seem like her motives, like deep down, like might still be like good? Do you kind of
Yeah,
get
well,
that vibe when?
that's what everybody's like speculating is like
Mm-hmm.
she does all this fucking crazy evil shit, and like at the end of the day, it's just gonna be like, well, she was just doing it for the greater good, and she actually saved everybody and like
Yeah.
redeem her, and like everybody's pissed about
Is she gonna be
her.
like, yeah, M Night Shyamalan
Everybody's
us
pissed.
here? And
Yeah, everybody's pissed about her taking that line. It's like it's like Kerrigan in StarCraft. How she was like evil, and then she was like the redemption arc, and like because it's like okay, Sylvanas like burned down fucking Tedrasil, the World Tree, and the
mm-hmm.
Night Elf home, and like how like there's no way that can be forgivable to like most people. And then they think like if she gets redeemed at the end, after doing shit like that. Like, it's just she can't be redeemed, but they're gonna make her redeem, so everybody's jacked off about it, you know?
That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on in the story, but it seemed like to me that was her goal.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear.
Right.
That she's a
And I
good guy.
think-
You think it was
yeah.
clear?
I think it was,
deep
yeah.
down,
But
yeah.
but I don't know the
Yeah,
story.
not even
so.
necessarily like her being a good guy, just like her having to do like the fucked up things that she did. And like if she didn't do that, then like we'd be fucked. Like she had to do that to get to the end goal of defeating whoever. But we just don't know what that is yet.
Right. Until
like,
it's data mined
yeah.
and then it's spoiled.
Yeah,
and-
but like everybody speculates like, oh, like we're gonna have to fight some boss, a jailer, whoever it may be, and no one's able to beat him or whatever, and we're just fucked. And then she comes out and like saves the fucking day, but then like you know what I mean, and then she like redeems herself or whatever, and I don't know, it's weird. We'll see. It's just like stories leak so much now, and everybody knows like kind of what's going on, and it doesn't matter how good the story is. There's always going to be like a giant faction of people that bitch. You know what I mean? Like nobody like when it comes to like lore, especially WoW lore, everybody's fucking insane. Like if anything deviates or anything gets retconned, everybody fucking flips their shit and freaks out. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, you honestly can't win. But let's talk about BlizzCon. Just the experience. I guess. I mean, I don't know the best place to start here. I guess let's just start with when we got there and what we did, and I don't know just how it was. I mean, we flew in to John Wayne in Orange County on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Right, Wednesday, and the con was Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So we flew in. We got there at like Wednesday afternoon. And we all had an Airbnb. It was a really nice place. It was the three of us, and then 7 of Dave's WoW Guild members, and then one other friend that we had just met there. And we went with them last year as well. But it was really good. We had Justin lives in California. He's a friend of ours, and he ordered some kegs of Cali Creamin', which is this beer that tastes like cream soda, which is absolutely fantastic. So that was a big highlight. We got a bunch of snacks, just like Doritos and a bunch of junk, and just kind of like vegged out and drank and ate that first day. It was really nice. Played some video games.
Cali Creamin', man, that shit's. Well, I guess we had it here in Western Pennsylvania, so that was kind of a shock. That was like a little treat.
I didn't expect to see it. Yeah,
we'd only ever see out on the West Coast, not Western PA.
Yeah, Justin was saying they use it to put out the fires.
Is that what?
As well? So it's a pretty high priced commodity out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it made it out our way. They're probably recalling it all back.
I think you're right. But then after that day, we didn't have Korean barbecue that night, did we? No, that was Thursday. No. Okay, so Thursday we woke up, just kind of hung out for a little bit. We actually went down to get our passes because you have to go the day before. You can go the day of, I guess, but it just seems like a big waste of time to do it the day of because you waste like 3 hours getting your pass. So I think it's really important to note that there were 2 passes this year. A big distinction, there was the Portal Pass, which was more expensive. It was around $500. And the 3 of us had the Portal Pass, and the normal like Peon Pass that was just like the standard that you could always just buy the normal pass like every other year. Like last year we just had the normal pass, but the Portal Pass line was in the hotel this year, and we picked it up in 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was very quick.
It was really quick. There was like no line. We got our prize, or not our prize, like our like little gift that we got with the ticket, which was an orc statue, which we're actually giving away this week. If you follow me on Twitter at Arcadian Matt, we're giving away 2 of those statues. They're really cool, like very well made as well, and a lot of pins and like keychains and badges from the con as well. But anyway, but the people that were in the normal pass line, they had a terrible time. It took like 3 hours to get the pass and the statue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you had to like you got the pass like at one part, and then you had to like walk to the store and get in line to get your statue. And it was like on Thursday, it was quite, you know what I mean? It's just it was a long wait, and it was a little weird. Like why in the past, like it didn't take that long. It was like I don't know, it was very weird. Like people will go to the shop just to buy shit from the shop, but now they're sending people down there to get their statues
Mhm.
too. So it was like a clusterfuck in the
Yeah.
shop, and
Yeah.
it really didn't make a lot of sense. But
They have a Blink store, they call it, and you can order things on your phone that you want to buy and pay for them, and then go to the store counter and just pick it up. The line and the wait time for that was somewhere around an hour and a half. Just to pick up. Like, you had already selected the items and purchased them, you couldn't even get them.
Mhm.
It was insanity.
Well, I mean, what would you comparatively like to last year? Maybe not. Maybe an hour we were there all together with the regular pass to get what we
Yeah, it
needed and
wasn't
get
that
out of
bad.
there.
It wasn't
it was
bad at
just a,
all, yeah.
No.
it was a weird setup this year. Very weird. I don't know. It was just strange.
But then we did Korean barbecue that night. And then Friday morning, we went down, I want to say around like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
No, we
Yeah,
got
like
there.
8:30, right?
8,
No, we got
8:30,
there
yeah.
at. No, we got there at like 7:30.
7:30.
Really?
We got there at 7:30. Yeah, because they were saying about letting portal pass people in like 7:45 or something. Because like that we like walked right in, and then we stood
Right.
outside.
Yeah, so they let the portal pass people in early. And last year we had to wake up around 5 or 5:30 to try to get in line and be able to get into the convention first to get good seats at the Mythic stage for like all the major announcements and cinematics. They show them on all the stages. There's I think 4 main stages, but the Mythic stage is the one where they actually have like the CEO and all of the people speaking in front of you. So it's like where everybody wants to be. But this year with the portal pass, you were kind of like VIP, and they let you in early, and we got in, I want to say like 45 minutes before everybody else, and got to pick our seats and just hang out before everybody else came in.
It was about a good half hour, 45 minutes before we saw everybody
Yeah.
else come in.
Mm-hmm.
There was still a
It was
lot of people, but it didn't fill up the whole main Mythic stage.
Between that perk of getting in early and not having to wait in line at the beginning, it was already worth spending the money, I think. I think if I go again, I think I'll be doing it again. As long as financially I can, but it saves you so much time and aggravation.
Yeah, I like being able to sleep in. That
Yeah.
Yeah,
sleep in
yeah.
quotes.
Yeah,
but
not rush around as much. Then like the portal pass lounge was cool.
it was nice.
Um,
Almost too
there's, like,
easy of access to beer.
Yeah, there was like a little lounge like up on like the 3rd floor, I think it was, at the convention center. Like if you had the portal pass, you'd go in there, and they had like TVs with all the different stages. You know what I mean? If there's a deep dive panel for one of the games, or there was the PvP, so like live PvP events, like you could watch all that shit in there. And it's just it's just a little more secluded and a little more quiet, and a place where you could like chill. They had like a free bag check and stuff, so it was a cool little additional perk that you paid for that was definitely nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what they had like big phone charging stations all over the place, and the couches. I don't know, you're there all day, so it was kind of nice just to chill for a few hours.
It was never too crowded either. You could just go in and hang out at any given time, and there weren't like a ton of people all around you, which was nice because at those conventions you're always around like a sea of people, and it's probably the worst part of being there is just not being able to like move around as well as you'd like.
And their own bathrooms. That was pretty nice.
Oh yeah, we did have like our own personal bathrooms.
With our names on the doors.
Oh, Dave, this is yours. But there was a ton going on. I didn't watch personally. I don't know, Adam. You and I kind of got lost that first day.
Well, we got too
after the main
drunk the first day.
Yeah, after the main
hammered.
cinematic and stuff, they had these hazy, murky IPAs, and they had like murky on them.
Mhm.
We had 4 within, I don't know, a couple of hours probably. Yeah, I was gone. I was totally gone. We were just walking around all day. It was like 1 o'clock when we got to the portal pass lounge and started drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And we were walking around and got some food. It was, before I knew it, it was 7 o'clock.
It was like 6 when we went out and got something to eat. We just drank and we didn't. Obviously, you just get up and go to the convention.
I mean, it was a great time. I'm not like complaining, but I just like lost track of time completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt saw this dog and it was like all over. Like time skipped. I'm like, there's a dog here?
I was petting that dog way too much.
5 hours flew
that
by.
Dog couldn't. That dog couldn't get away from me.
Should probably eat something.
That's Saint Bernard.
It was.
It was a big dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he wearing something like around his neck? Not a leash, but like something else.
Like a handkerchief or something, I think.
Maybe I was just like imagining things. You remember those old cartoons with the dog would have like the barrel of like, in the snow, you'd have like a barrel. I think it was like booze, and you'd be running out there to rescue somebody in the snow.
Oh yeah. I don't think he had any booze on him.
You might have. In my head, that's how I'm seeing it. This little dog, big dog,
Big dog.
big booze.
We played HOTS. I don't know, Dave. What did you get into that day one?
I don't necessarily remember. I think the first day we watched a couple of the panels. I don't really remember which day. I guess it was the first day I played more of the demos. We did the WoW Shadowlands demo, which was not, I mean, it was just like the questing area, so it's not that exciting other than to see like the new map and a couple like of the new models and stuff. So that was all right. Then we did the Diablo demo, which was actually really fun. It was pretty cool to play like an early version of that and see how everything worked. We had a lot of fun doing that. And then we did the Overwatch, the story demo, which was actually very enjoyable. For like usually like PV, I'm kind of like meh about, and I like the story demo for Overwatch was actually like pretty like it was fun. Like we were like a 4-man team, I think, and like you go like everybody picks a character and you go through it, and it was fun. It was actually cool. I liked that a lot. And then to round out the night, we went to the Overwatch StarCraft arena. It's like literally like a stadium seating, like a little arena. And then we watched the StarCraft finals, which went till like BlizzCon closes at like 10 p.m. and the finals went till like 11. So like they kept the Overwatch arena / StarCraft arena open so you could watch the games. And then some like fucking no, I guess the 17-year-old kid I think lost in the final, but he still won like 96 grand or something, and the winner got over $200,000, which is pretty wild.
Good for him.
But it's pretty cool in there. Like you know what I mean? Like you're in like a little arena and they're literally playing video games on a stage and everybody's kind of ape shit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, when we watched the WoW PvP.
Oh yeah, the arena.
The second night before we left, it was so cool.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, it's just like it's cool to watch a video game live with like a crowd that's like cheering and like it's like like yelling and screaming and all that shit. But for like a video game, it's like you're not watching a football game or something. You're watching a bunch of dudes on stage fucking click their mouse and keyboard and everybody's like going ape shit. It's cool.
It's the future, man. We're getting there. The turning point's coming. I don't know what year it's gonna be, but people are gonna love that shit. They already do, but like it's gonna get way more popular. I think like day 2 when we went, I kind of just want to talk about like the protests and the riots here, just because day 2 in the morning when we were walking in through the main gate was the first day that I actually even noticed that there was like any sort of protesters around. And I think that this is probably like a portion of the show that people would want to hear because it was like such a big focus, I think, like from the media. Going into this, like how prevalent these protesters would be. And honest to God, like I'm not even joking. I know that we were like really hard on the protests and like very pro Blizzard and a lot of this stuff, but I saw like 10 people selling shirts when I walked in. And I saw a few people inside the convention. When I say a few, I mean maybe like 3 that were just like handing out like free pins.
Yeah, it said free.
And that was like literally the extent of it.
It was a guy in a Winnie the Pooh thing.
Yeah, there's a couple
one guy.
There's a couple free Hong Kong shirts and stuff, but I don't think it was really that.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, but they were just kind of like, idiots. But I guess to my point, like I really didn't even notice it, and I was kind of looking for it. So I don't know. I mean, other people might have seen a ton of things. Like it could have just been my experience, but me personally, I wasn't even there for me.
Yeah, and I think like before they even started BlizzCon, like the opening ceremony, like Jaeon Brat came out and like addressed the Blitzchung China Hong Kong thing. And while like obviously it's like a PR speech or whatever to try to like clean things up, but I thought it was actually pretty good. Like his, you know what I mean, his little spiel about everything, and he's basically said like, you know what I mean, if, like you guys are free to express yourselves. If you want to say you support Hong Kong, like go for it. Like we don't mind. Like you know what I mean. We're allowing you to do that. We don't mind.
It was good.
So,
You're right. It was.
I
Good.
thought it was good, and like that, I thought that cleared the air pretty well. And like just looking around me, it seemed like a lot of people were like, okay, that actually seemed like a little bit sincere and wasn't like total like corporate PR bullshit. Like it just, I don't know. I think that smoothed things over a little bit, at least like from my perspective. Like I thought it
Yeah,
was actually a pretty good.
I agree
It
with you,
wasn't just like
Dave.
your standard corporate PR bullshit piece. It felt like a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm. He looked sincere
So,
when he said it, even though like the whole
right,
thing wasn't his fault. He's the
right.
face, and he was sincere when he said it. But that's the thing, like and like you said, I think that was like the best point. It kind of like I don't know if people were like really on edge like leading up to it. Like Matt was saying, we really didn't see on day one. It was literally non-existent. I didn't see any protesters or anything, and we even showed up, like we said, later after they could have had time to set up and everything out front. They just weren't there. And he comes out and he says that, and then you look at like the news articles on it and how like they made it sound like they even quoted him and stuff, but they made it sound like he came out and gave this like half-ass speech and it wasn't enough, and that they needed to like actually do something. He couldn't just say that they were gonna do it. But he even addressed it. Didn't he say like right in it? He's like, words aren't gonna mean much. Like we're gonna have to show you with our actions. And like,
Yeah.
what they want him to do?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
bend over on stage, like right there, and be like, come on, everybody. Take a
Yeah, it's
turn.
tough. I mean, once people get on you like for a PR thing, it's almost better to almost not say anything, because anything you say, well, because you
Yeah,
just
right.
get. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody just says like, well, this is BS or this is PR
Right.
or some
But,
other
like,
two-letter
I mean,
combo.
like obviously, like Blizzard doesn't pay me. Blizzard like doesn't pay me or anybody else to say anything good or bad about them, right? Like I just honestly believe that when he gave his little spiel, like it was reasonably like meaningful. Like it didn't sound like, to me, it didn't sound like he was just up there like like I watched him fucking 50 feet in front of me give the speech. Like I wasn't watching it through a TV or anything. I was there. I don't know. To me, it seemed pretty
Mm-hmm.
sincere on his part. And after he said that, I was like, oh, that I don't know. I feel like that kind of
Mm.
clears the air. And like even just looking around, like at the audience and the crowd, people just had that look on their face, like like the, all right, okay,
Yeah.
all
Okay.
right.
All right.
Like we don't necessarily like love it, but like, all right,
We'll
can
take
live
it.
with that,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll take it's sufficient. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's talk about the pins. I've been dying to talk about the pins. There's an area called the Dark Moon Fair, and Adam and I did a ton of this last year. I got a bunch of pins, but you can buy these packs, these seasonal packs, and you get random pins of them, like from a set. I mean, they're not like completely random. You kind of know what you're gonna get, but you can get colored pins, which I like the best. They're more common though, or you can get gold pins, and they're pretty rare. And you can trade the gold pins to other like vendors that are set up for like a lot of other colored pins or a lot of pins and badges and keychains from prior years. Yeah, like that Arthas. Okay, it's so sick. That Lich King is so cool. But anyway, so we did this a ton last year, and the three of us went like all in on it this year. We probably spent way too much money, but just opening up the packs, like seeing what duplicates we had, what golds we had, would go to the vendors, would see what they had, and like trade. I'll give you this gold. I'll give you this gold gray mane for your Diva keychain, and 3 of your colored pins, like a Genji, Anzo, and a Mercy. And it's just great. I love it.
It was a lot of fun. It was really fun
Yeah.
this year. I mean, last year was kind of like, all right, we're new to this. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, we didn't know what we were trading. And I think this year we had a better grasp. You get in there and start asking people, like, all right, so what's this worth?
This year, you added your boy
Yeah, Dave had
to the
some.
team, bro.
He was-
And I mean, I was pretty stinking drunk when we were in there.
Yeah. That's a must.
Oh,
had
we were all
some,
smoked.
I had a few murky, hazy IPA thingamajiggers, and I was in the fair, if you will.
You kept getting all over me about not not getting good enough deals, and I kept saying like, dude, I don't need the deals. I can always get more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get like what I want to get. I want to get, the gray man with the big arms, right? Like,
Bro, that was my trade.
he's got Saint Bernard hands. You know what I mean? He's got a
Trolled
big.
me.
I can send it to you. It's not in the giveaway. We're giving away. We're gonna give away this Reaper. Unfortunately, it's so cool. He's gonna go.
He is cool.
He is really cool. Yeah, that's one of the giveaways. Do I have any of the pins around here? Oh yeah, I do. I have a picture. Or just if you don't know what the pins look like, here's a Genji.
Oh yeah.
So you can kind of snap that, onto really anything, I guess. But
A little
oh, Artanis. I don't have an Artanis.
Yeah, I have these are like
focus.
Velcro patches. Like there's a WoW one.
Probably won't focus. Will
Yeah. It's not focusing that well, no.
Heroes of the Storm, if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah. But anyway, again, if you do want any of the merch, we actually have a ton of duplicates because, like they said, it was really fun and we were really, really drunk when we went in. So we spent way too much money on this stuff. So we're going to give a lot of it away to the community. So
yeah, 8 million patches.
Yeah, just let us know if you want anything and we'll give it out.
What did Dave say? We were gonna win like a rare WoW mount that would sell
for like
$800 real. So we all spent a bunch of money to
win. I said there's
such a waste.
They were like, it was like you were buying gumballs out of like a machine. It was like those little like shitty like quarter ring machines, and they kept breaking, and the guy come out and like beat the shit out of it before.
Yeah, I broke like
spitting
3 of them, and then I had to like Hulk hands mine fucking open. Like I was like beating the fuck out of this fucking machine.
It was like breaking my fucking wrists, dude. I couldn't even turn the handles.
They were pretty janky by the time we got to them on day 2.
I was like that guy in SpongeBob that every day he was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning he breaks his arms and every night he breaks his legs. That's how I felt in there. I couldn't like do anything without getting hurt.
Yeah, Matt's hands were a mess after.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you aren't kidding. I'm still recovering.
Dave had to hold all his drinks.
We fly home. I've been sick for like 10 days, Asher. I cannot get over this cold.
Con plague, bro.
Con plague, yeah.
That I didn't get sick last year, I'm not like deathly ill, but I got this lingering cold that just won't go away.
Yeah, like I didn't miss work or anything. I just had I was really congested and shit, just because there's a bunch of fucking tens of thousands of assholes packed into a convention center. Everybody touching everything.
You're not wrong, yeah.
It's like a breeding ground for germs and shit.
Tens of thousands of assholes.
I didn't even hear him say it.
Just touching everything.
Reasonably accurate.
Well, but I guess
not wrong.
I had a ton of fun again this year. Yeah, we were just kind of drunk the whole time. I feel like we didn't drink as much the first time we went, probably because it was so new. We didn't want to like get drunk and miss things.
Right.
But this year we just did whatever. It was a blast. I'll definitely try to go next year. I'd like to go to more cons like PAX or I don't know, like San Diego Comic-Con or anything really. I would love to go to E3 too, but I feel like it's really hard to get tickets to that.
Maybe we'll have that merch for
our t-shirts. Yeah, I thought we'll see.
Yeah, just need to build that subscriber base. So smash that like button.
Oh, here we
smash
go.
That sub button. Smash that. Smash that shit.
I guess. Do you guys want to talk about anything else that we missed before we sign off today? I think really the pins, Overwatch 2, Genji, and the dog. I think those are probably my 3 highlights. So
I had a thought that after seeing Diablo 4 gameplay, and it did look a little rough and like rough around the edges, I would say it didn't look like a huge improvement like visually from 3, but it had that gritty look to it. Like it was just like I don't know, like Doom or something. Like it was just like a fucking down and dirty game. Like it's gonna be intense. Like I would love to see them try to like move that towards like WoW a little bit. I feel like WoW would really benefit maybe from like a little like grungier, darker.
I mean, it has an aging player base. You have to think that like most of the people playing the WoW are like maybe not classic. Well, probably classic too, but like these newer expansions are probably a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, Diablo is really doing it well.
Yeah. Diablo 2, not Diablo 2 as in Diablo number 2, Diablo as in 2 additionally, like 2 TOO.
I mean 4.
I'm confused.
Yeah. So
what are we talking about?
The Diablo 4, when we were playing the demo, when you're crawling, like you're in like you start off and you go in this fucking cave or whatever, you're crawling around the cave doing your thing. And there's like when you're going from one part of the cave to the next part, it's like you click on like it's like a little crawl space, like your character has to get down. So you click on it, like cuts to a somatic, or not a somatic, but like like I guess it is a somatic. Like you're not actually playing, it cuts to like like a little video.
Are you saying cinematic?
That's what
cinematic.
semantics.
Semantics.
Are you saying semantics or cinematic? Are we talking about Diablo 2 or Diablo 4?
Tomato, Diablo 4. So like you crawl through and like the little video pops up and it's like shows your character like on their hands and knees like crawling through like this bloody mess, and then like your character like looks into like the pool of blood that you're crawling through, and then like a skeleton like skull pops up like
Spooky.
in your face, and it's like pretty like dark, and like I was like I'm like fucking sitting like all close to the screen and shit playing it, and then like the skulls and blood are in my face. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But,
sounds intense.
It was.
I think that might have been the murky IPAs talking a little bit.
His big green guy in his face.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we had a few, but like Diablo is definitely getting fucking dark. Like they're not fucking kidding about that shit. They definitely put some darker, gorier shit than Diablo 3. They definitely went back to the roots on that shit, which I think is a good thing. That's what makes Diablo like unique, is like the blood and like the gore and the demonic hellish shit.
Yeah.
I mean, in like addition to like obviously the play style and like the hack and slash like loot adventure that it is, but
yeah, that's a tough. I mean, maybe just because they dominated it so early with Diablo 2, but I mean, I can't really think of many other games that have kind of touched on like that demonic, like hellish kind of blood gore kind of thing and done it well. It's to that level. Maybe that's why everybody else stays away from it, because it's just like, all right, that's Diablo. I mean, people do gore all the time, but like this like satanic kind of
like heaven versus hell thing.
Yeah, divine versus the hell. Yeah, it's cool.
It is cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for listening as always. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Dave. Sorry, Josh, that you couldn't be here, and thank you to everyone that was at BlizzCon with us. It was a lot of fun, just like last year. As I always say, if you listen on Spotify and iTunes, we put these live VODs on YouTube if you want to watch them. Again, our BlizzCon giveaway will be on my Twitter at Arcadian Matt. If you'd like to be involved, if you do want the Orc Grunt statues, which are really cool, or if you're interested in any like Blizzard merch, like keychains, pins, or badges. We have a ton of stuff to give away. Consider joining our Discord. We put the links just below our YouTube videos if you ever just want to hang out and chat or play games with us or just talk some news. Yeah. I guess other than that, thank you so much. And we hope to see you again next week.
Smash that like button.